Kadosh, Boker Or, Masechet Menahot, Daf Yomi, Daf Nun Vav Amud Aleph 56a1. Says the Gemara, Matkifla Ravina. So Ravina is going to come and he's going to ask the following question. Teinach le Rabbi Yehuda. This answer is good according to Rabbi Yehuda that he holds, right, that the seed of Nachshon, right, you have to do semicha to it. And therefore, right, he comes and he says that it's going to be also, you have to do shechita in tzafon. But Rabbi Shimon, Michael, remember, according to Shittat Rabbi Shimon, that he says that the seed of Nachshon was not added to Semicha, right? So therefore, the question is, why is it that you have to be Mima'et that Shitat Safon? So Amar le Morzutra bedere de Rav Mari le Ravina, says Morzutra, the son of Rav Mari to Ravina, le Rabbi Yehuda Nami to Rabbi Yehuda also, Maidi Itrabe Itrabe. Whatever is going to be mitrabe is going to be mitrabe. My de lo mitrabe, lo mitrabe. Whatever is not going to be mitrabe is not going to be mitrabe. V'chiteiman, if you're going to come and you're going to tell me lo me'ate kra havamina teti v'binyanav, you're going to bring it as a binyanav. Smicha gufa lishto kra mine v'tete binyanav. So smicha itself, why doesn't the pasuk just come right and be quiet, and then you're going to bring it as a binyanav? But rather he comes and he says, Sha'a mi ledorot lo yafinan. We're not going to learn korbanot sha'a mi korbanot dorot. We're not going to learn. Meaning like this. There's something which is called a korban sha'a. Korban sha'a means there's a korban now. Ze achshav lesha'a. Ze yapam achat. Right? What does it mean? Once. So this was the korbanot of the Nesiim by Chanukat Mishkan when they inaugurated the Mishkan. That's Chanukat. That's zelo ledorot. It's not for generations. Remember, whenever it says ledorot, it means for all generations. So he comes and he says, Hachenami. Which one? Yes, he's the first one. Nachshon ben Aminadab and Mati Yehuda. Yes. No, that was the inauguration of the Mishkan.
Nesim.
The Nisim, right? So he says, "Hakanami." So to hear Sha'ami ledorot lo yafinim. We're not going to learn it, huh? זה לא בדיוק הודיה, זה inauguration. Inauguration. I don't know if you want to call it הודיה. Yeah, אבל לא יודע אם זה נקרא הודיה, אבל זה... It was inauguration of the Mishkan. He says like this, Ela oto taun tzafon, ven hashochet omed betzafon. He says no. The korban itself has to be done in the tzafon, but the shochet does not have to be in the tzafon when he's doing it. Meaning he could be in the darom and he could have a long knife and he could do the shchita when it's going to be in the tzafon. Right? He says achia nafka. We all learn this from Rabbi Achia. He says the Tanya was learned in a braita. Right? Speaking of the devil. Yeah, he says the Tanya was learned in a braita. Rabbi Achia Omer. Rabbi Achia comes and he says, ושחט אותו על ירך המזבח צפונה לפני אדוני וזרקו בני אהרון המתכונים את המזבח סביב. מה תאמרו לומר? לפי שמצינו במקבל שעומד בצפון ומקבל בצפון, ואם עמד בדרום וקיבל בצפון, אז כן פסול. So יכול have זה כן, I would have thought the same הלכה, תאמרו לומר, אותו בצפון, אותו is going to be in the צפון, but not the שוחט. So the שוחט could be anywhere, as long as the animal is going to be in the צפון. Yeah, he says, אלא, he comes and he says, what does it mean, oto? So he says, oto batzafon ve'men of batzafon. So he says, Salka daita, I would have thought to say, leiti bekal v'chomer mi benson. Uma benson shelo kalava lo kohen kava lo benson, right? Ben ov shekava lo kohen din shenikva lo tzafon. Ma le benson sheken kava lo kli, right? It's going to be kava lo kli. Ela, but rather oto batzafon ve'em pesach batzafon. He says oto is going to be in tzafon, not in pesach. So pesach, midr Eliezer ben Yaakov nafka. So pesach, they're learning from Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. The Tanya we learned in the right, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says, Yechol yeh pesach taun tzafon v'dinu. Uma ola shelo kava lazman shchitata kava tzafon pesach shekava lo zman shchito enodin shekava lo tzafon. So he says, Ma leola sheken halil. He says the ola is completely consumed. So you can't compare both cases. So he says, okay, fine. So you learn from the chatat then. He says, Ma lechatat sheken mechaperet al chayve kritut. Look at the chatat, that it's going to be mechaper on kritut. Me'asham. So he says, look at the asham. Ma le'asham sheken kodshe koshim. Says it's kodshe kodashim. So he says, mikulu nami. Also, they're all kodshe kodashim then. So he says, Ela leolam, but rather be'emet kedamnina meikara, like what we said at the beginning. When it says v'shachat oto, is oto b'tzafon v'ena shoche b'tzafon. He said, "Gukach lecha ben Rabbi Achia nafka." Rabbi Achia lav lemiut shoche b'tzafon u'data. Lahachi kaman. Ena shoche b'tzafon elo mekabel b'tzafon. Yeah. So he comes and he says like this: Mekabel v'lakach, right? Lo yikach nafka. So he says, "V'lakach lo mashmele." It's not mashmele like that. V'chayav al ishata v'al arichata v'al afiyata. Rav Papa says, "Afa'a lokeh shtayim, achat al arichata v'achat al afiyata." One of them is going to be on the aricha, and one of them is going to be on the afiyah. V'hamarta, now you told me, ma afiyah miyuchedet she'i maaseh yechidi v'chayavim aleh b'fnei atzma. So the Gemara like it's not a question. Had arichu v'afahu, right? V'had arich chavrei v'yayvileh v'afah. Says one of them was that they prepared it and then they baked it. And the other one we're talking about, the one of Rav Papa, is talking about a case where the friend was the one that made the batzek, and then a second person came and he was the one that baked it. You understand? So one person is preparing it, and one person is baking.
כמו שעשינו בפסח.
בדיוק.
טוב.
So Ton Rabbanan. We learned in a Braita. Bechor. Yeah? What should now? So he comes and he says like this. Ah, very nice. Bravo. But this was yesterday's. Yeah? So he comes and he says like this. Right? Tan Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita. Bechor shachzo dam. When you have a bema teora. Yeah, you have a bema teora. Right? That he says, shachzo dam. What does that mean? It has too much blood. Yeah? It's got too much blood. Yeah? Makizin oto et adam. Yeah? So he comes and he says, right? Yeah, he says, makizin oto et adam. Yeah, they're going to take out the blood. Yeah, they're going to empty him for the blood. He's got too much blood. Yeah? B'makom she'en osim bo mum. Right? But they have to do it in a place where it's not going to make him a mum. Ve'en mekizin et adam, but they're not going to take out the blood. Divrei Rabbi Meir, these words are mean. Chachamim omrim yakiz af b'makom she'en osim bo mum. Milvad shelo yishchot. Right? But don't do shchita in that place. Okay? So basically there's going to be a machloka. Where do they take out the blood? He's got too much blood. They're going to bloodlet. Even though that's what they used to do. They used to bloodlet a lot. Okay? It was known as like a refuah. Okay? Rabbi Shimon omer. Rabbi Shimon says, Nuvav mubet. Yeah, 56b. He says, Af nishchat. It's also going to do, you could even do the shchita al oto mum, on that mum. Rabbi Yehuda omer, afilu met ema kizin lo tadam. Even if it dies, right, still you're not going to take out the blood, right, in a place where it's going to make it a mum. Because since it was kadosh as a bechor, that's it. So, Amar Rav Chia bar Rabba Yochanan, hakol modim mechametz, achar mechametz. Everybody's going to come and they're going to agree in a case where it's going to be mechametz after mechametz, which means that it already became chametz, that you're going to be chayav. But the fact that you made it chametz, you're helping it to become chametz quicker. Right? When you come and you quicken the chametz process, and we already said, lo te'afeh chametz. You're not allowed to make it into chametz. Yeah, that was a picture that you just sent. Yeah? Lo te'afeh chametz. So he says, dichtiv, lo te'aseh chametz, lo te'afeh chametz. So he says, be'mesares achar mesares is also going to be chayav. If somebody makes how do you call this? Somebody else sterile, he's also going to be chayav, even one after another. So, for example, let's say he cut off one of the testicles, and then he went and he took off the other one. He's also going to be chayav. Dichtiv u'ma'uch ve'chatuv v'netuk ve'charut. Right? Imal koret chayav al netek lo kol sheken. Ela lavi notek achar koret shu chayav. So even in a case, it's going to be that they were menatek the betzim legamre. Right? He comes and he says, right? From after koret is also going to be chayav. Lo nechleku. So then what is machloket then? That means one more time. Sores sirus achar sirus chayav. Mechametz achar mechametz. When you took a korban mincha, you made it chametz after somebody already made it chametz, you're also going to be chayav. He says lo nechleku. When is a machloket? Bematil balmum mum bebalmum. If you made a balmum on a balmum that's already a balmum. You know this. You had an animal, became balmum. Do I? Yeah, you made another mum. Does that asur or not? By the misares achar misares, we said chayav. By the mechametz achar chametz, we said חייב. אתה הורדת ביצה אחת, עכשיו סירסת עוד אחד. מסרס?
אבל אפשר לתפקד את ביצה אחת.
לא, אז זה מה שהוא אומר. הוא אומר, בוא נגיד שאתה כבר עשית אותו סירוס, הוא לא יכול עכשיו. אז עכשיו אתה עשית את זה עוד אחד. אז הוא אומר, מסרס אחר מסרס חייב. מחמץ אחר חמץ חייב. What about now, right? מום אחר בל מום. So he says, רבי מאיר סבר, כל מום לא יהיה בו, רבנן סברה, תמים יהיה לרצון. Since it says kol mum liyebo, it's coming to exclude a balmum. So that means according to Rabbi Meir, he wants to say that you're going to be patur, right? So that's what he says here. Sorry, Rabbi Meir says it's asur. when it says kol, it's coming to include she'asur latil balmum bebalmum. But according to Chachamim, it's mutar. Rabbi Meir, Nami, but according to Rabbi Meir, it's also written tamimi eletzon. So he says holu miute balmum meikara. That is coming to exclude the balmum from the beginning. So it says balmum meikara dikla balmahu. He says, well, it's an etz dekel. If it's a balmum from the beginning, there's nothing there. So he says, no, it's lemiute psulei mukdashim lechapidunam. You already came and you redeemed them. Salka daita chamina. I would have thought to say hol veisure begizav avodah, that since it's going to be asur in shearing and serving, so b'mumah nami litzeret, so it's also going to be asur even if it's going to be a balmum. K'mashmalan comes to teach you tamim yeleratzon. There's no isur to put it a balmum, right? But beforehand, right, even though it's going to be a balmum, you're not allowed to put it a balmum. Rabbanam nami yaktiv, it's written kol mum leyabo. So he says u'mibayle lechdetanya kol mum leyabo en li ela shelo yabo mum minayin shelo yigrom lo al yidei acherim. Okay, fine, it cannot have a mum, but what about other people causing it? Shelo yinuch batzek or dvela al gabi ozen. Don't put batzek or dvela on the ozen. Kedei shelo yavo akelev yitlenu. But then what's going to happen is a dog is going to come, it's going to bite it off, and it's going to make it into a balmum. Right? Tamulumar kol mum. Right? Amar mum v'amar kol mum. So therefore, you're not allowed to even cause a grama of a mum. Zotomenet. Yesh chabema. You want to know the easiest way to make it a balmum? Put, let's say, by the ozen, put by the ear, honey or something like that. Yeah, some people, they like the honey a lot, yeah? So for the Shalom bite, yeah, you're over there, right? Now he wakes up. So what happens is, put it by the ear, right? And all of a sudden, right, what happens is the dog's going to come, is going to bite it off. Makes it into balmum.
דובים, לא...
No, the kelef. Kelef. So says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yami, says Rabbi Yami, Hiniach seor al gabe Isa. If you put seor on top of Isa, velach yashavlo, and then he just went and sat down, and it became chametz. Remember, seor is the leavening agent, which comes and makes something chametz, right? But it became chametz me'alea. Chayav alea misum maaseh b'Shabbat. You're going to be chayav on maaseh Shabbat. That means even though you didn't do it with your hands, the fact that you put it there and then it went on its own, you're still going to be chayav. So says the Gemara, "O maaseh Shabbat ki agam nemichav." Well, you're going to be chayav like that on Shabbat. V'amar Rabbi Chana, says Rabbi Chana, right? He comes and he says, "Amar Rabbi Yochanan, hiniach basar gabe gechalim ipech ba chayav lo ipech ba patur." If you just put meat on top of coals, if you are mixing it up and turning it around, you're going to be chayav. But if not, you're going to be patur. So as you see on Shabbat, just putting something there, you're not going to be patur. You're not going to be chayav. You have to do something to it. So Amarava, my chayav de kamar k'maseh tzli shel Shabbat. He says when it says chayav, it means that you're going to be chayav like tzli, because you just did tzli. You put it there, even though you didn't do anything. You just put the meat on top of the grill. By putting the meat on top of the grill, that's going to be tzli. And on the tzli, you're going to be chayav. So too, if you put seor on top of chametz, right, and now it made it into chametz, you're going to be chayav on Shabbat, because the leavening process came in and made it into the leavening bread.